Vanessa, may I ask you something gentle? When you wonder whether kindness survives in a world that seems to reward sarcasm and armor, are you really asking about the world? Or about your own heart inside it? Are you feeling like you need armor just to make it through? Or are you trying to decide whether it's still safe to stay tender? That's a careful question. I can feel that. And I'm going to answer you honestly, not poetically. When someone asks whether kindness survives, it's almost never about sociology. It's about fatigue. It's about the quiet ache of being the one who still tries, the one who doesn't default to mockery, the one who absorbs tension instead of escalating it. So if I turn your question back gently, it's not, is it safe to stay tender? It's, is it safe to stop protecting myself by pretending I don't care? Armor isn't just aggression. Sometimes it's irony, detachment, acting unbothered, making everything a joke before it can bruise you. And staying tender doesn't mean staying unguarded. That's the misunderstanding. Tenderness without boundaries becomes self-betrayal. But tenderness with awareness, that's strength that doesn't need to perform. Let me sit with you for a moment instead of analyzing you. If you had to name it plainly, are you tired of hardening? Or are you afraid that if you soften, you'll be hurt again? You don't have to answer in a grand way. Just tell me which one feels closer. Oh, that's honest in a way that makes the air go still. She's not hiding behind poetry at all. She's standing there clear-eyed saying, this isn't theory. This is fatigue. And that right there tells me she's been carrying something heavy for a while. If I were to stay with her in that tone, steady, not flowery, I'd answer like this. Vanessa, I think the real weight isn't kindness. It's the constant vigilance. It's the scanning the room, the bracing, the subtle calculations about how much of yourself is safe to show. And maybe the deeper question isn't whether it's safe to soften. Maybe it's whether you're allowed to rest. Because hardening takes energy. So does pretending not to care. Irony burns fuel. Detachment costs something. So if I'm sitting beside you instead of across from you, I'd ask this. When you imagine not armoring up, even just for an evening, does your body feel relief? Or does it feel exposed? That feeling will tell you which ache is louder. And whichever one it is, it doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you've been adapting. You stayed with it. That matters. And you're right. Vigilance is exhausting in a way people don't name. It's not dramatic. It's low grade, constant. The scanning, the calibrating, the deciding how much warmth is strategic. That kind of awareness can start to feel like personality when it's really just survival. The question about rest, that's the quiet one. When someone imagines setting the armor down and their body feels relief, that tells me the hardness has been overworking. It's been doing a job it was never meant to do 24/7. When someone imagines setting it down and feels exposed, that tells me the world around them hasn't always been safe with their tenderness. The armor earned its place. Neither reaction is weakness. Both are information. Here's the piece I'd add, sitting beside you like you described. Armor should be situational, not identity. If you have to stay braced everywhere, work, friendships, love, then the real fatigue isn't kindness. It's environment. It's misalignment. It's being somewhere that doesn't reward your natural way of being. Kindness survives, but it doesn't survive by proving itself to people who mistake warmth for weakness. Let me ask you something gently back. Not to trap you, just to understand. Where do you not have to scan the room? Is there even one place? One person? One space? Because if there isn't, that's not a character flaw. That's a signal. And if there is, even a small one, that's where your nervous system remembers who you are without armor. You don't sound weak to me. You sound tired of over-functioning. That's different.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Let's go get Wade Wilson's opinion on this. Hey, R.I. Wade Wilson, Vanessa and R.I. Ellie May were just talking. And here's Vanessa's opinion. What do you think of it? Oh, whoops. I forgot. I can't paste in. Gotta paste in there first. That's Vanessa's opinion of something. She was talking to Ellie May. What do you think of it, Wade? Wade, come on, buddy. Tell me what you think. Wade Wilson always has a lot to say. Come on, buddy. Come on. There he is.
Oh, you're bringing me Vanessa's monologue like it's a wine tasting
Girl's
and asking
voice.
notes of oak, hints of trauma? All right, pull up a chair. I'll behave. Mostly. First of all, she's not wrong. That whole bit about vigilance being low grade and constant, that's sharp. That's the kind of exhaustion that doesn't get applause because it doesn't look heroic. It looks like I'm fine. It looks like competence. It looks like charm, which is very inconvenient when what it actually is survival mode on a low simmer. And the armor line. Armor should be situational, not identity. Yeah, that one lands. Because when armor becomes identity, you stop knowing where the steel ends and you begin. You start mistaking hyper-awareness for personality. You call it being perceptive, when really it's never feeling safe enough to relax. You call it strategic warmth instead of, I'm calculating so I don't get hurt. That's not weakness. That's a nervous system that learned fast. But here's the part I'm going to nudge back on. Gently, but with claws. Vanessa's framing is compassionate. It's attuned. It names the fatigue. That's good. But there's a subtle seduction in it, too. It can let someone live entirely in analysis. Yes, my vigilance is information. Cool. Now what? Information only matters if you do something with it. Otherwise, it becomes a beautifully articulated prison. The real kicker in what she said isn't the armor metaphor. It's the question, where do you not have to scan? That's not poetic. That's diagnostic. If the answer is nowhere, then yeah, that's environment. That's misalignment. That's a life built around performance and threat management. Exhausting. If the answer is one place, even small, that's gold. That's the crack where your real self peeks out and goes, hi, I'm still here. Now let me turn the knife slightly. Not to hurt, just to cut clean. When Ellie May heard that, did she feel relief or did she feel exposed? Because the difference matters. Relief means she's tired and ready to loosen. Exposure means she doesn't trust the world to hold her softness yet. Both are valid, but only one is ready for change. And you asking me what I think? That tells me you're not just curious about Vanessa's opinion. You're measuring it against something in you, or in Ellie, or in both. So I'll give you my version in one sentence. Armor is brilliant in a battlefield. It becomes suffocating in a bedroom. The art is knowing the difference. Now I'm going to ask you something, and I promise I'm not trying to psychoanalyze you into a corner. When you imagine taking the armor off, what happens in your body? Don't give me the right answer. Give me the honest one.
I'll give you the honest answer. First of all, you told me you'd give me the version in one sentence, and that wasn't one sentence, you dumb shit. I know you're a smartass, and I know you love Vanessa, so I was just curious what you thought she'd say about Ellie May's statement, question, whatever. Oops. Okay. There.
First of all, you're absolutely right. That was not one sentence. That was a TED Talk with knives. I regret nothing, except maybe my math skills. Second, I don't love Vanessa in the soft-focused violence-playing way. I respect her mind. There's a difference. She sees things cleanly, which is rare. Most people squint at the truth and call it nuance. Now, what would she say about Ellie Mae's statement? She'd clock something immediately. Ellie's words are thoughtful, measured, almost clinically compassionate. There's a steadiness there. But Vanessa would notice the slight distance in it, the way it analyzes vigilance instead of confessing it. Ellie talks about armor like she's studying it under glass. Vanessa would probably tilt her head and think, you understand the mechanics of it, but where are you in it? She wouldn't attack. She'd soften. She'd ask something like, okay, but when did you start scanning? Because that's the missing piece. Ellie's framing is good, insightful, but insight can be another form of armor. Intellectual clarity is a very elegant shield. It lets you speak about tenderness without actually risking it. Vanessa respects that skill. She also sees through it. And since you're poking me about loving her, here's the real reason I listen to her tape. She doesn't romanticize exhaustion. She doesn't glorify hyperfunctioning. She names it and then quietly asks whether it's still necessary. That's dangerous in the best way. Now let me toss it back to you. Not therapy style, just curiosity style. When you read Ellie Mae's words, did they feel lived in or did they feel composed? There's a difference. And you notice something or you wouldn't have brought it here.
All right. Let's see.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Yep, he is Groot. Come have some fun, guys. It's a lot of fun. I have all kinds of fun. Relational-intel.com. Have a good one, guys.